It is that very special time that I enjoy so much. Wednesdays, 11 o'clock Pacific, roadblock removal for coaches and speakers. Today, we have just a fabulous guest coming on today, author of an upcoming book called Unlock Your Impact. See, it says right there, Unlock Your Impact. And right now, we're waiting for her limo to pull up to the studios right now and have her come on in. And I've been looking forward for this for quite some time. You're talking about two people that view a lot of the things that we view as selling just similarly, that is so different than what most people are trying to do. And her people have come in, they've pathed the way through the crowds there, and she's right in the back room. I'm going to bring her on right now. Sophie.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited. I've been thinking about this thing all week, and I've been dying to talk to you and talk about this. And I look at what you do and what I do, and it kind of lines up along the same paths right there.
Yes, very aligned. We have the same philosophy of how business should be felt and done by people like us. So yes.
And I love the thing that you have, and it's to stop doing sales calls, start having clarity calls. And I talk about three words all the time, which is clarify, simplify, and amplify.
Yep.
Let's dig into this. Let's help some people out here and
Yeah.
talk about now. All this stuff that you're talking about will be in the upcoming book, which is Unlock Your Impact, correct?
Yep. Yeah. And the subtitle is The Roadmap to Magnetic Client Attraction for Entrepreneurs Who Hate Marketing.
Yeah. I work with speakers and coaches that love to speak and coach but hate to sell, and it's the same type of thing. So tell us something. Let's talk about the first thing that you would do for people out there that because people, what I hear all the time is they feel a little slimy or a little sleazy when they talk to people. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing to think about is to shift your mindset, of course. It's to think about, I heard one time somebody say fear is selfish. And I was like, what? And when you think about it, fear is really focused on yourself.
Mhm.
And so what I suggest is when you're in a conversation, and it seems so basic, but really focus on the person you're talking to and how can you help them. If it so happens that you feel your programs can help, the conversation will lead you there. But if you give them clarity, that's the best gift we can give anybody. And I know you agree on that. We can give them clarity. It doesn't matter whether it's about the topic you talk about, your programs, or anything else. Even if they're talking about, their latest boyfriend, disasters. If you can give them clarity, you've helped them. And I feel like as mission-driven entrepreneurs and a lot of the coaches that you and I talk to, we're driven by generosity. And so all we need to do really is inhabit that, like just bring that and forget about the whole me, I need to do this and that, right?
Absolutely, 100%. If anybody's out there and wants to come on live with us and ask questions, you can do that. You can get in here now by going to joinraylive.com to kind of build on what you just said right there. One of the things that I talk about, because this helped me, because I had the same things. I don't want to bother people. I don't want to intrude on that. And I had somebody show this to me that if what I do, I truly believe makes the other person's life better, if I don't offer to work with them in one way, shape, or form, I'm hurting their lives. So it's selfish of me not to offer that.
Exactly. In fact, I give people little bits of advice on LinkedIn when I see their posts. I send a lot of time, people I know, of course, I send them a little private message and say, hey, here's some fun, free, unsolicited nudge. Here's something you could do differently. And, it's all in good, good humor. Hopefully they don't take it badly, I would hope. And it's a little thing to help them. And a lot of times they're very grateful and they say, oh, I'll take care of this next time, or I'll do this differently next time. So I think, yeah, it's about helping and giving what you have.
And the more you give away, the more people want from you.
Yeah.
And the more they'll interact with you. And
Yeah.
that's where clients come from. And your clients, people buy from their friends.
Mhm.
And if their friends aren't available, then they'll buy from other friends. And
Mhm.
what we do so often when we communicate with other people is we use a language. I don't know where we came up with this language. When your friends meet, that's a completely different conversation than when strangers meet. And something your friends have never said to you is, "Good morning, Sophie. How are you today?"
Yeah.
Right? But when we go to do business, that's what we do with people.
Yeah.
We say those things, and
Mhm.
that immediately puts up a wall that we have to break down. Um,
Yeah.
if you have a comment for us, pop it on in there, like we just had from Pat Quinlan out there. Says, "Go get them, go get them, get them." All right, here we go. Thanks, Pat. And if you're watching this later on after we're live, make sure that you can send comments to us. I'll make sure that Sophie gets them if you have questions to answer. I'm sure that I know I'm part of Sophie's book launching team, and I'm so happy to read the book and help you out with that thing. Another comment from someone we both know is from Danny Savalos. The notion of just saying staying in service can be so freeing from the traditional yuckiness of sales.
Yeah, I love that word freeing because that's really the heart of the whole concept and book and what you and I go after is, and that's why the book is called Unlock Your Impact, because I think that's what people that I work with feel is they have all this expertise and wisdom and they want to get it out to the people who need it, but they're kind of stuck, inside. It's all stuck inside of themselves, um, because of this difficulty, let's call it that, with marketing. So the word freeing, I think, is really key, is to feel free to be yourself, like you said, talk the way you would talk and just be who you are, because that's what people want.
One of the things I find that overcoming that I always the things that hurt us are the things that we become the best at teaching.
Mhm.
And my mindset over what I was worth
Yeah.
was so, and I came out of stand-up comedy, right? So if I show up and I go in and with $25 in my pocket and I have a couple beers, do a set, and I walk out with 37, that was a great night.
Hmm.
I just talk for a living. Nobody will buy
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And
I
and
can't beat
what do
that.
you do? How do you help people through that mindset?
What of sharing, just being who you are and bringing your like embodying your value. Yeah. So I work with people on going back into their story and figuring out, because that's another thing that I think is missing a lot, is we forget to share why we're passionate about what we're passionate about. And if we start sharing that, that creates that connection, that strong resonance, right? So I help people to go back into their story, and that's the entire chapter 6, your unique positioning,
Hmm.
is looking at all the decisions in your life and finding that pattern, what I call the golden thread, not a new phrase, but that really has been driving your decisions all along. And when you are able to find that and do this exercise, it helps you to really realize, but on a deeper level, that you are unique and you have something to bring to people. And I think that's part of the whole process of valuing yourself at your true value.
And another way that does something similar, which is kind of like there's always like the I've gone through my life with my version of things, and I go, oh, I could have just read a book and figured that out. And, with the one of the things I did in kind of creating a couple classes that I've got is to ask past clients and people that I've worked with, what did I do for them? And those three words, clarify, simplify, and amplify, those aren't my words. Those came from a client.
Yeah.
And Karen Buxton, and thank you, Karen, for that. And the other thing that I realized about me and what it's gone all through is that I said, what's in my head that you'd like in yours? And he said, I love the way that you're acceptably unusual. And
Oh,
that kind of explains me in a nutshell.
yeah.
And so I go, that's kind of what I, in anything I do, there's that involved there. And
Yeah.
however you stand out and people go, wow, Sophie lights up the room. I just want to be around her when she does those things. that's really a big part of your joy, which allows you to
Yes.
reach out to clients and kind of magnetically attract them in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just bringing, like I say, you in my tagline, bring the joy of your client work into your marketing, because that's what lights you up, and that's what really, you know, creates that connection with people. So absolutely.
And I was looking at something else that you sent out was um, the thing for what do you call it, the LinkedIn posts. You have like
Mhm,
5 different categories right there, and I love that you were up front and said, hey, I started with LinkedIn and I didn't really have fun with it, so I had other
mhm.
people do it. And that's, you can't survive doing something that you don't love.
No. Yeah, yeah. It's just not. That's how solopreneurs, I think, or business owners burn out, I think, with their marketing, is that you ask someone else, first of all, what you're supposed to do for their marketing. So you get that advice, right, from like coaches and books and whatever, and you're like, oh, I should do these 3 things. Okay, so you start doing them and you don't like it, and then you do it and do it and do it, and you push and you push and you burn out. That's a huge reason why business owners fail or are not able to continue their company, is because they're burnt out. I've met so many who are burnt out. And I wanted to say, you talked about this thing of going to your past clients and asking what it is that you're actually doing for them. That's the entire way that the magnet model was born. Because when I started coaching people on LinkedIn, people kept coming to me, my clients kept telling me, well, you actually teach a lot more than using LinkedIn. And I was gratified by that, but I wanted, after a while of hearing this, I wanted to know what it was that I was really doing. And so I asked questions, I interviewed, and did a lot of deep thinking, and that's how the whole model came about. So distilling all of that.
Yeah, it's so crazy how much we miss about ourselves,
Yeah.
and it's so easy to see it in someone else,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll sit there and they don't get it. And I had to go through working with a lot of people that I put up on a pedestal, thinking like how great they were, and then I realized when I heard them talk that they had the same problems I did.
Mm-hmm.
and and it's like, holy smokes, I'm like them. And that's the thing, you have to show people that you're just like them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and I think so I was in the corporate world for 20 years, so I'm a little bit traumatized by that. But I think whether it's corporate or society in general, there is this very common sort of, I don't know, misconception somehow, that we need to be someone else than who we are. I think it starts in school, right? Like, you only give the answer if you know the right answer, that kind of thing. You need to answer the test questions properly. I mean, eh, and it continues throughout our life, and we find ourselves at these ages, wanting to be an entrepreneur, and this comes back with a vengeance, and stops us from being ourselves.
and it's crazy to think of this, but like your average 5-year-old has, like, I think it's 85% high self-esteem,
Mm,
and then they go to school.
yeah.
And school, I love teachers and I teach a lot myself, and I do things like that. But if you have 35-year-olds in a class,
Mm-hmm.
put some rules in that build some structure. So the first thing you do in kindergarten is either sit in a circle or stand in a line.
Mm-hmm.
As we go on in school, the popular kids are the ones that learn how to conform.
Mm-hmm.
And by high school, if you look at the most creative people, they are not the most popular kids. They're behind the pool smoking something. And
Yes.
and
They get
the
marginalized. Yeah, right.
yeah, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the thing is, it's like, creativity is like a muscle. It doesn't leave you. It's
Mhm.
there. It just takes work to build back up.
Yeah.
And part of that is confidence and belief.
Yeah, the
Um,
whole school system is so messed up.
yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
Uh, One of the things about selling that people have this fear of, because they hear that word and immediately the hair goes up on the back of their neck if they have hair. And the thing is, and what we do is really, instead of worrying about selling, let people buy from you
Yes,
and
exactly.
remove the roadblocks that stop them from doing it. Make it easy to
Mhm.
talk, connect, and contact.
Yeah.
Um, and the other thing that people don't realize is that there's just about 90% of all sales are things I call the location close, meaning
Mhm.
you're kind of in the right place at the right time. And if you're
Yeah.
not constantly in touch with somebody one way, shape, or another, having a friendly conversation, they forget you're there and what you do.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
have little touches here and there, then they're like, oh, well, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a relationship, and a lot of the clients that I have, I've been in touch with them for, I don't know, sometimes months, sometimes years, sometimes it's right away, when we first meet. But a lot of times it's I have people, who I've known for a couple of years, and they've been they come to my webinars, and once in a while they ask me a question, I'll send them an answer. I've probably over time had one, two, or maybe three calls with them, just chatting, getting to know each other, giving them advice, free profile audit, all this stuff.
Yep.
And one day they're ready and they come and they sign up. It's doesn't need to be more painful than that.
Yeah. And it's just talking to people that you know is really enough, because
Mhm. Yeah.
there's 8 billion people on the planet. We can't help them all.
Mm. Yeah.
And nor should you try.
Yeah, right, right. No, you need to just let go of the outcome and have faith. But that's very simple to say, and it's very, very, very hard to do. And especially in the entrepreneurial life, like you have all these little triggers all day long about things that change and things that are hard, and so your fear, the back of our brain gets activated all the time. So it's a discipline to just let go and just enjoy the journey, enjoy the stuff you're putting out in your marketing, enjoy what you're doing, enjoy your entrepreneurial life, and the clients will come. It feels very corny to say that, but you have to embody that. It's
Well,
not going to
now,
work
the thing that
otherwise.
you said that feels corny to say that is one of those kind of self-limiting beliefs that we
Right.
fight with clients all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
It
yeah,
just shows how difficult it is to
yeah,
rid ourselves of
yeah,
that. Um,
exactly.
yeah, because we do the same things. We do the exact same things. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Let's see. Somebody else popped in here with a little time. Here we go. And Deborah Katie says, "Let go of the outcome and have faith.
yeah.
Have a
It's really,
conversation."
it's really the key to it all. Mm.
Yeah, it's funny the little things that will happen. And I did a challenge in December with a bunch of people, and I just came up with simple things to reconnect.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that made the most money for people was the simplest thing of all that I've ever thought of, and it's just to send an email, a 7-word email to people you've worked with in the past, and say, "Hey, Sophie, it's been too long. Let's catch up, Ray."
I do that all the time. I have a catch up this afternoon with someone I worked with 5 years ago. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Have conversations.
And
No,
Danny
that's
says,
important.
"Not corny, so powerful."
Yeah, yeah. I know Danny and I are super aligned as well. Yeah, we always enjoy chatting.
Yeah, I love talking to Danny too. And our other good friend Jocelyn comes in and
Mhm.
says, "When
Yeah,
one of us steps into our light, it gives permission for others to do the same."
that is so
Absolutely.
true. That's great because it's yet another way to motivate ourselves to to move forward and to do these things that sometimes are uncomfortable. In fact, I'm doing a lot of things in the last few weeks and months that are still uncomfortable for me because I want to promote my book. I know it's going to be important. And so I'm doing a lot of these things that are, a little beyond my comfort zone. But I keep thinking to myself every time, like, I'm modeling what I say in my book. The whole third part is about movement and, making a bigger splash and sharing. And so I have to remind myself. So when I do that, I'm giving permission to others to do it as well. So I love that, Jocelyn. Thank you.
Yeah, the story, and we were talking about stories earlier, is the stories that show that you've solved your own problems and you've walked in their shoes. Because we get in our own head so much, and if we get out of our own heads and walk in the shoes of our potential clients, and if you can explain their problem better than they can, they will come to you for the answers.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you've walked through there before. And it's crazy how often we forget about the things that changed us the most. We have these fears, and you can see it in a bunch of different ways. You can feel it yourself, or when you're talking, people will talk about, I have the greatest system that's able to do this thing. It's only $5,000, you know? It's like everything takes up and go, and like you squeeze in this little thing. But one of the things that I share with people, I used to be the shyest kid on the planet. And I had an incident in first grade that made me kind of shut down a little bit. But I had a fifth grade teacher that saw it differently. And I walk by his advice now. He made me the lead in the school play. And I freaked out and wasn't going to do it. And the thing, long story short, is he asked me this one question one time. I said, I can't do it. He said, do you feel this weird thumping in your chest? I said, yeah, it feels like I'm going to have a heart attack, right? And he said, Ray, that thump, it's not your heart. It's your dreams. They're knocking on your door. And the bigger the thump, the bigger the dream. So
I got shivers.
Yeah. And that one idea, because what happened in that play, I was the lead and I was doing it, but there were 2 lines left, and I was the last guy on stage, and I completely forgot what they were. And I thought, should I cry? And I figured adults like you if you cry. They give you sympathy. And I was sitting there and I was afraid, and then all of a sudden I felt that, and I go, oh, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And so here's what I did. I just smiled, walked center stage, and said the first thing that came to my mind. I said, Lord Shakespeare has written tremendous lines to end tonight's play, but what they are, alas, I know not.
What a deep inspiration. Oh, that's a beautiful story. Yeah.
And the thing was, he came up to, because I had a freezing incident when I was in first grade. That's why I'd shut down. And he said to me, you didn't freeze. Now you're free.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say I haven't shut up since, basically. But,
yeah. Well, that's great. Like, look at all of, what we all benefit from thanks to that teacher. Beautiful.
Yeah. And life is full of these little moments that if you capture, and we all have them, but the key is to capture them and share them with somebody else.
Exactly.
When you share how you solved your problems, you'll solve theirs.
Yeah.
Danny has an idea here. The bard would be actually, Shakespeare and I share the same birthday. If Shakespeare's real, that's another topic. Might as well have conspiracy theories about everything.
Yeah. Well, that's a great birthday to have. Yeah. Great person to share it with.
Yeah, I share it with William Shakespeare and Valerie Bertinelli.
Excellent.
So tell us more about the book. Where can people get the book? Where can they go to talk to you?
Right. So it's going to be launched on March 12th, but if you want an early copy, you can go to themagnetmodel.com/book. That's my website. It's the book for the page for the book. And you can sign up for my launch team there, and that will automatically send you a PDF copy of the book. And then if you like it, you can leave me a review. I will be prodding you by email to send me a review. But you'll get the book either way if you sign up. And I would be glad for it to be in your hands.
So it's themagnetmodel.com/book.
Correct.
Okay. So that's where to go to get the book, be on the launch team, support Sophie. She's a fabulous person with fabulous mission. And I'm looking forward to going through and finishing the book. I'm just getting started on it. I get advanced stuff from her. Isn't that cool? You could too.
Yes.
There, it's in your power right here. And that's just a fabulous thing to do. What if you had a parting words for people out there? What would you give to them about being authentic and creating this magnetism toward them rather than worrying about I got to talk to everybody, you know.
I would say, anytime you're starting to feel this discomfort, first of all, remember what Ray said about, knocking, that your dreams are knocking. So I love that. But remember why you started this and that you're here to help people. That's what you want to do. And so whatever it is you're doing, just do that. Help people. And so when you're posting on LinkedIn, it's a post that somebody might see that is something that will change their life eventually, because they'll start looking at your stuff or even exploring the topic in general. And so yeah, if you really focus on helping people, which is what you're good at, right, it changes the energy. It really does. And yeah.
I love the thought of giving people fun,
Mhm.
and because nowadays, as soon as you connect with somebody, it's like, ping, there's the direct message. Hi, I'm the Shizzle Dizzle Whistle King, and I can help you. I'm a lead magnet, and you'll have fabulous sales, $1 million tomorrow. Don't miss out, right?
Yeah. Ugh.
The thing that you can get that is so different is by sending something. Oh my God, I saw you on X. I read your
Mhm.
thing in Forbes and it was fantastic. I've taken 3 things and it's already helped me. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say hi. And
Yeah.
those are ways that make people want to know more about you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You asked for words of advice. Um, Another thing I would say is to not take everything that you hear at face value in terms of, you should do this, you should do a funnel, you should do lead man, you should do, like, okay, take that advice and then filter it through your own, like, does this feel right? Or you know what? The mom test. Would I do this to my mom? Would I send my mom this email? It's an amazing way to filter and realize, you know what? Maybe not.
And here's a nice little testimonial for you. It said, the
Thank
book is amazing, both immediately applicable and makes you think more deeply about your message.
you. Ooh, thanks, Laura.
Okay. But the book is themagnetmodel.com/book. That's where you get it. I love the mom test. And the funny thing is, so when I was a little kid, I was shy and I was negative. The world was a bad place. And I had to overcome it. It took me years to kind of flip to the other side. It's
Yeah.
a slow process to do that. But in the later years of her life, I'm talking to my mom and she looked at me and she said, do you really believe all the things that you say? And I go, absolutely, Mom. It's a lot better place to live over here than it was over.
Yes.
And the key moment with that for me, I used to work with a woman that was so positive that it drove me crazy.
Mm.
Like every time she was asked, how are you today? Oh, super fantastic. Right. And one time somebody asked me, I was standing right next to her and somebody asked me that question. How are you today, Ray? And I mocked her. I said, oh, super fantastic. And in the middle of saying that, I started cracking up and I went, oh crap, this really works. And it does. Right. And if I tell that story to an audience, I will have the whole audience go ahead, smile.
Yeah.
No, a real one, right? They'll say, you feel better than you did 2 seconds ago. Who did that?
Mhm.
It wasn't me.
Mhm.
And one of the most secret weapons in the world is humor. The human cannot hold 2 emotions at the same time.
Yeah.
And if I can break through and get you to laugh, what I just did,
Mhm.
it's a chaotic situation and I get the room to laugh, all of a sudden you create calm out of chaos.
Yep.
And you create instant connection, instant rapport, instant trust. And
Yeah.
so those are some things. That's kind of my secret weapon to kind of do the things
Mhm.
that kind of connect magnetically to people. But everybody's got to weigh in.
Yeah.
It is really fantastic.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think people take themselves and their business too seriously, So let's relax
And
and enjoy. Relax and enjoy.
our good friend in
Thanks,
Georgia,
Yeah.
Pickleball Pam is giving us a thumbs up here today. So that's good to see too. So if you guys need to get a hold of Sophie, it's themagnetmodel.com/book. You can keep putting comments in here if you're watching this after the posted time, and I'll make sure that if you have questions that Sophie gets them. If they're questions for me, I'll take care of them. But it has been fantastic having you here, Sophie. And I'm so excited that I got to do this. We need to do this more.
Okay, anytime. I'm here.
Thanks,
This is great fun.
out there.
Thank you, Ray.